start with 2 colors?
Yeah, white and orange usually.
Oh, okay. White and orange.
So, full transparency, I was the main playtester, basically, for Max. So, and the deck he is playing is kind of derived from the Reanimator deck that was played at in Harmony at Vancouver earlier this year and at Everfree Northwest. And you can see those deck lists for those on those tournament reports. But I think Grandpa's came up with a core version that the two of us kind of talked over a little bit. And what Max is playing is essentially that deck.
If you saw us in stream last week, Grandpa's talked about the deck that he would be playing, and it is functionally this list. Yeah, Oops All Bombs is really strong against mid-range, I believe, right? Because you essentially have a pretty overwhelming amount of power through the mid-game if you make it work.
Reanimator is basically, you would call it, a lot of times you call it aggro combo.
High roll?
High roll, you go first.
But this kind of acts essentially like a lot of mid-range. It does well against a lot of different decks. I hope to think. I think it's got a pretty good matchup against aggro. I think it's got a really good matchup against farm.
You have to choose
certain types of farm.
your chrysalis color.
Yes.
So let's see what we got. And on the other side, we have another Chrysalis deck, which is...
I saw some blue stuff in his hand.
Chrysalis, so there's a lot of interesting things in that one as well.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure my chrysalis is going to go blue. And my trading tradition is going to go white.
So I didn't manage to see entirely what was in Max's hand. I did see a Meadowbrook.
Yeah.
I'll take 1 die.
I was looking at John's hand, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's...
So...
Please do so, because I can't really tell.
Oh.
Right.
I see, looks like some frightening events in there, looks like, maybe.
Can have something
So, just to clarify, we have a question in the chat about the exact circumstances regarding Chrysalis and flipping.
Alright.
This is a super confusing situation, I know. So the way that it works is that basically, your main will only flip if your opponent flips theirs, and so neither of the mains are going to flip unless some effect turns one of them over. If that happens, the main that flipped will copy the other main's start side, and then the other main will copy Chrysalis's boosted side, I believe. That's correct?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Chrysalis is one of those weird mains where rules go weird.
And
Alright, so Max, looks like he's got a pretty good opening hand, except that he doesn't really have major things to toss into the pile. He's got Smolder and Sandbar, which lets you discard cards to reduce confront requirements.
Yep, I'd like to confront. Yes.
Mhm.
Which is ideal start for this deck. The interesting is, let's see here. Is that a torch?
looks like it, yeah.
Alright, so John's main strategy of frightening things kind of goes out the window once Max hits a Twilight.
Shadow.
The Twilight that says your friends can't be frightened?
Yep. So, John mentioned the name of his deck to Max before the game started, which should clue Max in as to what might be happening.
The fact that he chose blue for his Chrysalis as well
Yes.
is a big hint.
Yes.
Already.
So, Max should basically try to dig for Twilight as soon as possible.
As you mentioned, yeah, he's off to an early start in terms of
I see an
confronting.
Blossom in his hand too, which is really good for him.
Yeah, Blossom could be a fine play.
The only problem is you're kind of like shooting in the dark a little bit, because there's only one thing in the discard pile right now, and it's Meadowbrook. And in this matchup, I feel you don't want to have the Meadowbrook. You want something huge.
Because you have to. I believe it actually has to discard to get the effect of Smolder and Sandbar.
Yeah, that's correct.
It's a cost.
You're the judge.
Yeah, you're looking at Twilight, as you mentioned, Tri-Cadence, Tri-Luna.
That's
Those are the big ones. Is there any others I'm thinking of?
Yeah, you've got basically like a smorgasbord. Moon Dancer is a big one. You can also get Catajack. So, what else is there? Limestone.
Oh, Limestone, yeah.
Limestone for those Thorax players.
for you stick
And for Fluttershy,
staff.
never mind, but
All right,
yeah.
so
for torch
Okay,
and get my first point.
that's fine.
So I collect.
I mean, Max could YOLO it here if he really wanted to.
At the end of the turn, right?
Exactly.
Yep. Okay.
How much AT does he have?
Ooh,
My go.
That's
Max bank 2, so he'll go to 5.
5. I will.
now the problem here is he can't
I just missed an extra token then.
play.
You are 2 points from
Can he?
Once you enter your last turn,
Yeah.
what's missing one
No, he needs to have
I'll allow that this time, but.
Well, technically, it's
he has to allow it.
forced. It's not
Yeah.
okay. That's
So the problem here for Max
I would have
is
taken it otherwise if it was a you may.
he needs the rec he needs the rec and the AT to play Orchard Blossom, but he also needs to unfrighten the Smolder and Sandbar to have the AT to do so.
Mhm. And he doesn't have enough for that Hearthstone
And
Explosives
it's gonna
either,
be next
yeah.
turn anyway, so he's net like 1 AT a turn, so this might take a while.
Mhm. Correct play is just to wait here, I think?
Also, there's a staff on the other side, which is super annoying.
Mhm.
The tires are great friends.
Yeah, correct play for him might just be to wait.
Well, the thing is that at the start of his turn, he's going to have to he's going to have to retire the Smolder and Sandbar to Torch if he doesn't unfrighten it right now.
Man, that sucks.
Yep.
Uh,
So he's in kind of a difficult spot.
I'm gonna rally.
Okay, there we go.
He can confront and get, like, Luna into his yard, at least.
Discard a
Yes, that's important.
Okay.
to reduce by 2.
Yep.
By the way,
If you get Luna, like, it's also fine, but he has to wait.
Excellent.
An attempt.
some of us commentators play Magic. We refer to it as the yard.
Yes. This card pile is too many words. Ooh, it's a lot of good stuff in John's hand. Is that that looks like Cybernetic Limb Actuator? I think that's a bailout in Max's hand, so
Yeah, I definitely do see that.
he will probably want to save that for something. What entirely? I'm not entirely sure yet, but the thing is, so Max will have 6 AT.
It's a super easy turn then.
If his Smolder and Sandbar is gonna get frightened for sure.
I'm asking too many questions. I'm going to play a Rainbow Dash here.
Which Rainbow Dash is that?
Be able to
It's the one that
look.
moves. He's gonna
Okay,
DFO.
so going for a double,
well, I tend to
which is not the big deal.
no problem.
That's fine.
Max is gonna think about his
See, here's the
bailout,
problem. If
probably.
he bails out, he's gonna have to unfriend Smolder and Sandbar. He's not gonna have the AT to play Orchard Blossom again, so he should let this go.
Before you confront,
Doesn't look like it.
My dude, do the math.
I am going to. I'm going to.
Just let it go. Just let it go.
Nope. Discarding the Apple Bloom.
To bail out Queen Chrysalis.
Bailout the Chrysalis does prevent him from getting sticked next turn, but
That's really
well,
good. Yeah. So I guess he just like stalls a
And I'm
turn.
going to refright, and that's Smolder and Sunbar.
That's fine.
And now it's going to be your turn.
Okay.
Well,
Unless he hits the redeeming qualities off the top, that would be so sick.
mhm.
5, 5, 5.
Alright, so John did score off of his Torch Confront
That's about
there.
one. Yeah.
As a Hearts.
That's fine.
So Max is in essentially the same situation he was last turn.
Yeah. So for full
Okay.
clarity, yeah, I will commentate on Max's plays a bit because I have extensive experience with this deck.
4.
I am counting on it.
See, Max just realized that he doesn't have the wreck, so he needs to unfrighten He needs to rally. Is it still called rallying? Unfrighten smaller and sandbar, or else he's gonna lose it, and then he'll be stuck out of white. So he needs to pay the 2 AT to unfrighten it now. Wait another turn, and then get it frightened again, and then pay 2 AT again, and then play the 4 for Orchard Blossom. I think that's his only thing he can really do that's in his hand right now. I probably would have not discarded the Apple Bloom. I would have discarded the bats.
That's what
Because you can't play the bats.
And you can
The
the
Apple Bloom,
yeah.
the Apple Bloom like would have also made this way easier.
Yeah.
Yes. As the Smithers points out in the chat, small trivia, rallying is the main phase unfrightened action only. Everything else is just unfrightened.
The problem is that on John's side, he's got like
Shiny.
right as I say that, he tilts his hand backwards so I can't see it.
I know I saw Rutherford in there at the start of the game.
Okay, I'm gonna pay 2, 5 down to 3. I'm gonna rally this.
Yes.
At least Max still gets to
If he
confront.
has a Rutherford, he should probably play it right now to lock out to guarantee the dismiss.
Okay. I'm gonna discard a Heart Strongest Horses to reduce by 2. And
He could play it now that the confront's happening. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, got him.
Prince Rutherford. There we go.
that's fine. I will pass your turn.
Alright, you can dismiss the Franklin friend now.
Alright, now Max is in tough.
That's a Tier X Reign of Terror. See, the other problem with losing the Apple Bloom to Bailout is you no longer have a discard outlet. So if you happen to like draw Twilight, you can't get her out of your hand.
Just a teeny tiny bit more.
2x costs 1, doesn't it? Or 2?
Sorry, which one?
2x Reign of Terror?
Tier X Reign of Terror is a 1-cost card.
Oh, but his main is exhausted. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah, but you also don't want to play Tier X Reign of Terror because it has no use.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about his chance to potentially DFO. I don't think he can do it with his main exhausted.
Well, both sides is trading traditions, isn't it?
That is true.
So, Torch does it by himself on the other side. On this side, you just need, what, 5?
5. He's got a Rutherford and can't remember what he played.
He needs +1. He needs +1.
Okay. So yeah, I guess that's easily done with something.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do it. I'm going to spend 2 action tokens.
Basically, anything that, at this point, that does like any frightening thing immediately right now doesn't really matter to Max. He's got nothing to frighten.
Cybernetic Limb Actuator on Prince Rutherford.
Okay.
I will not use the move that happened once I play Cybernetic.
I'm not.
Will still get the +2 power.
Okay.
Yeah, that must have been his only play to get more power there.
Alright, so come.
Yeah, it's like not the ideal use, but you know.
With the tree.
Oof. Actually, that's not the biggest deal. Actually, it is because he is out of white now.
Sorry, what did he flip?
You're stuck in orange.
He flipped Fire Friendship.
Ooh.
Let me move one of my character to that problem.
Griffinstone moved Torch, I assume.
Yes, I'll move.
Torch is fine.
Less sprint power.
Um,
With 2 or less sprint power, you can get the power to face off. It doesn't do anything to me.
yeah, they're both fine.
Print power, that's important.
Yeah.
So, print power only affects the side that it's flipped then, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
I guess we'll go with that then. So I'll send Queen Cressida on that side. Since on the other side she won't be able to do anything, we'll be...
Yeah, he's got a good
It will be
instinct there.
up to 6.
So I have 1 left.
I'll draw for turn.
Alright.
Cracking the case for Max is not good enough.
Nope.
So, just gotta dig now, right?
Yeah, just draw a card, dude.
Main phase.
Except that he's gonna need like he needs more cards to deal with this because he's out of white, so he needs like a barrel.
In terms of comebacks, that deck has Catajack in it, right? You said?
Yep.
Like anything else for mass removal?
Not really. Another Orchard Blossom. So the problem is he has he can't actually play anything.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Oh.
he does not have Orange Wreck.
Mm-hmm.
3, 4.
I believe he's probably passing because he knows that Orchard Blossom is like his only offensive play once he gets the colors, right? He needs to save some AT.
I mean, you can just keep. You know that you're getting 480 the next turn, right? So you could theoretically just draw until you have, I don't know, 1 to just maybe 1 or 2. Yeah, you can draw down until you have 2, and then pretend you have something, because he has 6 cards in hand.
It might be for the better that I put him on the board as soon as possible. 4 action token. We'll drop Flash Magnus.
Alright.
For Flash.
Yep, got the big guns.
To confront on this side.
That's fine.
The problem with having Catajack right now is he can't play Catajack.
It's going to be your turn. Yes.
Drop return.
Yep.
Even Smoldering Sandbar is not a play
He
you
can't
can
even
make.
play Smolder and Sandbar.
Yeah.
He needs anything that gives him, he needs a resource that gives him entry.
Barrel and Fire, essentially, right?
Yeah. And he just flipped the Fire Friendship.
Draw a card.
Okay.
And we know he discarded one of his fires to Smoldering Sandbar.
Yep.
I'm gonna draw another card.
Gotcha.
6.
Okay.
Someone's in. There's the redeeming qualities.
Even though with his main on 1, a barrel is essentially useless, because his main's only got 1 power.
It'll get you into white.
Yeah, it'll get you to white, then you play Smoldering Sandbar, and then you play...
He needs something to get him into white, and then... Because the problem with Fire Friendship is he needs
4, 5, 6, 7,
more.
8, 9 cards in hand.
Yep.
I will discard a...
Discard the bats, please.
Cracking the case.
Oh yeah, that works too, that's fine.
Gotcha. Banish Troublemaker. Yes.
Oh, you hit a rarity.
Power. Don't forget that. Okie dokie.
I'm sure this is a bad feeling for Max right now, but... I'm just kind of...
He needs to... So, yeah, John is in a kind of large advantage here, right? But there's time, and generally, unless you have an explosive start, Reanimator typically is losing in the early game.
On this side.
Dash... Moving Rutherford over there, that's fair, yeah.
No, it's Spring Power. Torch. Okay, Torch on this side.
Okay, goes for double, that's
Token to swiftly move Flash Magnus on the other side.
actually okay. You can give up points now. Hopefully you hit,
Nope. Delay the 2 points.
infiltrating the hive.
Got it too.
What was that? I didn't see that.
I didn't see... No
Points.
no chaos, and John wins anyway. Should take him to 10 points.
Oh, he hit family food, I think.
Yeah. This is your time to shine.
Yeah, no pressure.
I also have 1 too many card. I have way too many card actually. Well,
Max's flip was Smoldering Sandbar.
to those 2.
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah, sucks.
What will it be?
I'm thinking.
It actually kind of
Trying to
sucks.
Remember your deck from BronyCon. You 180 right now?
Huh?
I'm gonna take a shot here. I'm going to I'll name Prince Rutherford.
Rutherford, I believe, is not going to hit anything, but
No.
we'll see what there is to see.
That's important. being able to see things.
Lots of information.
Yeah.
Basically, you hit Twilight, and none of those matter, in a sense. At that point, it's just like a knuckle down, drag out fight to the end.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right, my turn.
yeah, I believe so. Yep.
Gain 4 to 10.
Yes.
Draw for turn.
Well,
There it is.
It's Twilight.
Now he has to find a way to play it. He just needs to find a way to play it.
Alright, go to main phase.
Okay.
I'm gonna draw a card.
Oh boy.
That's another one.
Another one.
Color entry in there.
And draw a card.
Bail out. It's got to keep going, Max.
This is
The real problem that Max has had is because his the choices he used for discard were not predicated upon this happening.
deck is laughing at me right now.
So he kind of failed to consider that he could be losing his friends or anything that would get him in. So he just dumped all of his early game stuff out, and now he needs the early game again.
Hilarious. This is approaching hilariousness.
So he kind of put himself into the situation in a sense.
Staring at me.
But that's fine.
Mhm.
He can just keep drawing and discard all of his guys.
Pretty well. Okay.
You're at 10.
I mean, that is, yes, kind of the one of the strengths of that deck is that you discard a bunch of stuff. Oh, there's the fire. Okay.
Yeah, but he needs something with one white wreck or one orange wreck as well, right? Because he can't play Sweetie Belle to get him into more white.
Yeah. Does he have a Smolder and Sandbar in hand? I think he does.
Didn't he flip it?
He flipped one. He played one. He drew the other
Like,
one
he
a little
should've-
while ago. I
I
think.
think he has a bailout.
Unless you have point acceleration, I don't think you can win the game next turn.
Isn't Family Feud 2 points?
Yeah, but John is on 10.
I'm
Okay.
gonna end my turn.
Yeah, so if he plays T-Rex Trainer Terror, that's 5 points on the board.
Oh,
While you do this.
yeah.
Collect these.
So
This might take a 1 or 2 round of cuts. And what is
Take your
this?
time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
yeah, John has basically played this exactly as his deck should be played.
Gotta go.
Yeah,
Which is acting really strong for him right now. That's a Zomponies in his head.
What is this? This is a 9? Jeez.
Yeah.
Draw.
yeah. So I definitely do see a Smolder and Sandbar in Max's hand. So,
Cadence.
Okay, but he can't do anything with it this turn, so he
Yeah.
has to he has to kind of eat it.
Twilight. Sweetie. Those are all going into my.
What
Yeah.
kind of deck do you play?
We'll talk after.
This is
And
Alright.
3 AT banked. It's your go.
I wouldn't call that in the most sportsman of terms.
With one more action token, I could have one.
So he has T-Rex Trainer Terror, which gives him the 5 points on board he needs to win the game. Now,
With one more action token, that would have been game.
yeah, this is
Number one most common saying in this game is like, if I had one more AT.
Only.
it's not entirely, the best thing to be saying right now, honestly.
I don't have any white on the board anyway, so.
yeah. That basically clues Max in that he's got some other source of points in his hand, given the.
Well, Max already knows he already has.
Oh,
a
that's sorry.
source. Yeah.
Good point.
But
Yeah.
it's like
To win next turn, though.
the problem is that even if Max gets Twilight now, he needs more, right? He needs to have like
Power Flash Magnus.
Okay.
I will.
he needs to have Twilight and a bailout or more bailouts, or hit
This side.
Catajack. Catajack is also fine.
I mean, if you Catajack, it'll keep Flash, presumably, right?
Okay. I'm missing
Yeah, but it severely reduces the possibility of him just like going for a triple face-off.
hmm John is one short of confronting Family Feud right now.
Me.
John is also at 10, so he might not want to give Max that +1 AT.
That's the last point that I would need anyway. During the score phase, I will move here and confront that side instead.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, goes to 11.
Okay.
So that's put me at 11, 6 action token next.
Yeah, John, like Max is in an extremely rough spot. John, pretty much I would say with, off the top of my head, I made up number like a 90% probability he's got this. Meadowbrook's not going to do anything much.
Alright.
Well, he has a staff as Canada still, so.
So the play is fire, smolder sandbar, redeeming qualities?
And an Orchard Blossom. I think he has enough AT for all of that.
Okay. And then you bring back, like, I guess Luna is super important with that flash on the field.
Play this in. Have any chance?
He needs Twilight for sure. So
You have 1 AT?
the thing, he needs Twilight +1.
And, yeah.
Like Limestone is okay, Luna's fine.
I guess...
I might want Twilight and Luna, but he has to make sure he has the AT to do this.
Do you play the Orchard Blossom first for the off chance that it gets a Catajack?
Yes. I would say you do. Because in the case you hit something else that you might want, you just redeeming qualities that instead. Digging 3 deep is important.
Here we go. Pay 1.
Yes.
Fire of Friendship.
Nice.
Name White.
Why not Fire Friendship for hand size? Because he knows that there's a trashed in John's hand and he can't afford having that happen to him.
I'm going to play Smolder and Sandbar to this problem.
Alright.
A DFO is fine as long as he doesn't flip something stupid. Hopefully that's what Max is aiming for, because that's like pretty much
And
one
then
of his only options. This is where having Apple Bloom is still like okay too.
Orchid Blossom.
Okay.
What did you do, sweetie?
So
We didn't have enough AT to play the redeeming qualities as well. There it is, it's
He hit
Catajack.
it!
to my discard pile.
Come on, just blow it up! Blow it up!
Does start right into play.
And I play. Now I get to put a friend for my discard pile.
He can also just pick Twilight and double confront, I think. No, don't look at that.
Read Torch one more time.
Yes.
Okay.
I think he is thinking about Twilight.
Because Twilight, I think Twilight can do Nightmare Night by herself.
I am going to put a Princess Twilight.
Is Nightmare Knight 6?
I think it's 5, isn't it? I gotta double check.
Right now, my character has the power of one of your friend with leak 3 mid 8 enemies doesn't start to vanish. That friend it's on the end of the turn instead. Gotcha.
It is 6. He's stuck.
And still in main phase.
But he has Smolder Sandbar, so it's okay.
And discard a card
Yes.
to reduce the confront requirement here by 2 until the end of the turn.
Gotcha.
Alrighty, so that
And
will
he has the
be...
1 AT for bailout.
Front here.
Ooh!
And then we're going to have a single problem face off.
Yes.
So
So you score a point.
4.
So it's 4 against 5. Flip the 2.
I'm at 9.
You're good.
Okay.
You're good to get that point.
Hold on, what is on Max's side? Should he not?
Alright, now
Does Max not have 8 power on his side
Hang on a second. 2-4.
on Family Feud?
4. That's right. He absolutely did DFO
There
that
should be
game.
a double confront.
Yep. That is a big one.
I believe the understanding is you
Judge.
pick one of your guys.
Judge.
That's what it is. I had to do that last tournament as well.
You got like 10 seconds.
Now,
Grandpa's is over administering a game loss to Bugle, actually, for playing a non-TM face down as a TM. Hopefully he shows up over here to deal with our problem as well.
LOL.
it's already there.
He should have 8 because Spoiler and Sandbar is stubborn.
Yeah.
Twilight gives everybody +2, and Orchard Blossom is also 2, so that's 8.
Yeah, he absolutely has 8.
One. Still have that staff though. Shouldn't forget about the staff.
Why are these like these things happen to Bugle all the time? It's just like it's actually quite amusing. Feel sorry, but
Okay,
I guess the memes.
so that's
I guess so. He picked himself up another one.
play this next turn.
Alright. I'm just gonna keep saying, Grandpa's, if you're listening, we got an issue over here.
Okay, so we'll frighten torch. Okay. So that's
Like, this is actually something that needs to happen because game state, and this is actually super relevant to the game.
draw. That might have saved me even more.
Like,
I want to be a bit mindful of time here.
Yeah.
oh my god. Come on, man.
White though.
Bring him.
I did. So hopefully he has time while in the middle of giving people game losses.
I mean, I hear Bugle bantering in the background, so that's clearly finished and dealt with.
So yeah, I believe I'm going to be spending 2 action tokens.
Judge, call. Before this gets any farther, please.
I will spend one more.
Like, I am quite sure that should have been a double confront.
I'm absolutely sure. Grandpa's, the last face-off on this game there should have been a double confront because Max is confronting Family Feud right now.
Might have messed up something. We're on stream, so they see everything.
Okay. So where are we in turns right now?
We are in the main phase. I was moving my character to.
Have you already moved your character?
I already started moving my character.
Okay, so we need to reverse. Okay.
Okay. So
Well, hold on. Was that character? Where was that character last turn?
At home.
It was at home. Keep that there at home. Okay.
Okay.
No, keep it there at home.
Okay, keep it there at home. So we'll get my 2 action token.
You should have had a double problem face-off last turn because with Twilight's modifier, these cards are enough to be able to confront.
You're correct.
Okay. Can you identify the card that he drew for turn?
Was this one?
That shouldn't matter.
I trust him on that.
Okay.
Was the
Had
first
you
one?
already had a single problem face-off last turn?
Yes.
We did have a single problem face-off
Oh,
last
so
turn?
then
Okay.
the card flip is the one on the back.
Draw that one.
Draw that one, replace the problem.
Card that you drew for turn. That's fine. Put that back into your hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you already flipped.
Yep.
So these need to go home, and you need to adjust the point total because it.
That's plus 3 points for Max.
So we just need to recount the face-off that we just did, but
Right.
it's a multi instead.
Right, but it's a multi instead. How much
And Max already won it, so he would have won harder.
Yeah. Isn't it +2?
They had rarity there.
1 for the confront and 1 more bonus point, right?
They had flash there.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, 2. Plus 2, not
So
plus
then,
3.
so
My
then
bad.
it's irrelevant because he only had more power there in that face-off. He still would have won.
That is
Okay.
okay.
So
So everything goes back home.
move your characters back there. Did you get the point for confronting Family Feud?
No, you did not.
Get the point for confronting
So
Family
you
Feud.
get that and get
How
the
many
bonus.
points did you get for the bonus?
1.
Okay, add another point to the bonus.
It's actually surprising, a little bit surprising how often people forget about the Twilight gets plus 2, just because there's so much text on her card.
Residual error
It's true.
is complex.
Yes.
Okay.
Alright, that appears to be infiltrating the hive.
Can we get a time extension? Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah. They want less.
So now it's back to my turn.
Yes.
So rarity is
Kaiboda once played a non-morph as a morph. Yeah, that I could see that happening really easily.
to be honest, at this point, it's not. I'm just going to send this back to you to the own limit.
Yep, that's fine.
These things happen.
No.
So that changes things a little bit. I don't think that problem is confrontable by one character
Because they have
on John's. I don't think John can do a single character confront anywhere.
fixed action token. Oh, I spent it because I was about to move Flash Magnus,
Yes.
and then we were interrupted.
Yeah.
That is where that 16 action token was. Okay. So now,
Well, that bailout in Max's hand is pretty much going on Flash at some point over the course of this turn.
Extremely relevant. Extremely relevant.
Being only 4 points back, there are 3 points on the board right now.
yeah, I would have frightened rarity. To keep my torch.
Is that a torch frightened?
I think so?
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering what that face down card was. I think it's torch.
Do you remember how it got frightened?
Nightmare Knight would have fright.
Oh, that's right.
Have frightened it because Max has no legal targets.
Ah, good point, yes. Right, there was a discussion about this.
There was a discussion about this last Monday.
So this is not white. That's Rutherford meter.
So John's problem is he has like no white
Few white.
power.
What if I played decent instead?
You kind of you did kind of pay the 2 to move it there.
I didn't release the card?
It's so Max is wondering whether or not it should be allowed to be taken back. Whether or not, like, in certain rules regulations, like in casual, yeah. In this one, depends. Like, if the game state is reversible in a sense that there's no real difference, other than you said okay, then it's not something you're allowed to reverse. That's my opinion, but Judge may see this differently.
Wherefore, we'll get to your question once the game's over, because there's a lot to it.
And I cannot frighten anything, so.
Yep, that's fine.
There we go.
Okay.
Your turn.
Max
Okay,
lets
Max
it go through.
saves it.
Game 5 up to 6.
I think it's fine because he just needs to make sure not to eat a double confront and lose that way.
Phase.
Oh, there's the barrel now. So, yeah, Orchard Blossom probably?
Redeeming qualities or Orchard Blossom. It depends on like how much AT Max wants to keep up.
4
Okay.
for Orchard Blossom here.
But if he gets Orchard Blossom and hits like Moon Dancer,
I know what you're about to.
oh,
Ooh, Evil Twin! Ooh, that could be quite good too.
We go into here.
Yeah, for the flash?
take Chrysalis, maybe.
Oh,
Luna's
no,
also
he's
fine.
thinking of Luna, yeah.
The thing with taking Chrysalis is that you deny him another guy.
Princess Luna,
This is also fine as long as he remembers to actually do the frighten.
Princess Luna into play here.
Okay, we're out of time.
A 1 minute. We had a 1 minute extension.
Right, they had a 1 minute extension on this table?
I'm gonna frighten Flash Magnus by exhausting it.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna pay 2 to move Princess Twilight here.
Okay.
And
No, you
that.
can't.
I'm going to go to Score Phase. And attempt here.
Yes.
And here.
Sorry, what's the problem?
Gotcha. So you get
2 points.
Oh no, I'm saying this is not a good idea.
Okay.
I am at 10.
I only have 5. You win.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
1 bonus, 10.
Yes.
There is an unreasonable demands trigger.
Right.
Yep.
I believe.
Gotta be Twilight.
Yes, that's fine.
Yep.
Vanish. And I will have to dismiss her home limit.
Now, Max doesn't have any AT left for that bailout.
Blossom. And I will
No.
Character to this problem.
pass turn.
Alright, gotcha. 5 actions, okay.
Alright, it is his turn.
Yep.
So my turn will end the game.
Yep.
Alright, Max does have one more turn.
Yeah, but John has like enough AT to do whatever.
Yeah, probably.
So I will ready Flash Magnus,
Okay.
because otherwise I cannot do this. Fact that you do
You think Evil Twin was the right call? For getting it, because it gets rid of Flash?
the last turn. Call in the Dream Cavalry.
Yeah.
Take Swift.
Yep.
I'm going to spend 1, 2.
See, the other thing you could have done was play the Orchard Blossom to unreasonable demands.
1, 2.
Okay. And then because because Orchard Blossom is +2, you would have the White Wreck.
1, 2.
And then you use Older and Sandbar to reduce its problem requirements by 2.
Thing that could be disruptive.
And
No.
no.
And this is only during your main phase.
Oh, no, this is, you have to pay 1 to move.
He has to pay 1 to move all his guys, that's right.
That's a troll error. Okay.
So you move.
So
that,
just go back,
and that
go
is
back.
turn.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't even have.
The problem with the Tricorns is that they have so much text on them and 3 like different abilities each that it's hard to remember what they all do at once. Especially if you have all like Cadence and Twilight and Luna out all at the same time, it's really hard.
It's a double face-off.
Yep.
5, 6.
And yeah, that is 3 points on the board.
The dots.
So this will be game.
Anything, a double face-off, and
It could have been a better comeback.
Well, we got to face off though.
yep. So I get 2 points.
I think Max is flustered by the by what is going on, what happened at the start of the game.
Sure.
Also, John is not helping things.
So that was a bumpy ride.
But I think it goes to show, like, Max is in a really terrible position through the mid game, and
Yes,
he totally almost won.
John, basically John's deck worked exactly the way it should have. And it was really good. It's like, it was very good.
So
That's a lot of pressure you put on early very fast, and a lot of decks will have trouble with that.
When you hit Smoldering Sandbar, that was...
And Max kind of misplayed the first couple turns, which kind of set him back that much.
His
It's
discards
almost
were.
like, yeah, he got put in a little hard situation because he really wants to have Twilight to be able to discard, but his opening hand was pretty good otherwise. So keeping it, not keeping it, I think keeping it was the correct idea. But the turning point in this game was probably when he tossed away. Probably when he bailed out. I think to stop the double, was it?
It was a. I don't remember if it was a double or a single, but some face-off.
He bailed out, which made it so that he couldn't unfrighten Smolder and Sandbar and then play Orchard Blossom to get something out quickly.
Yeah, that AT was pretty much the big one.
And also discarding away any way he could have to get back in after he ate the torch.